In this presentation, I will explain what I have learned in educational psychology. Now granted, this presentation cannot tell you all that I've learned, but hopefully I will give you a few major points in which I believe are important, not only to me and what I have learned, but to my future classroom. Intentionality is a big one in which I use and want to use in my classroom. Teachers need to know what they're teaching and why they're teaching it, what the goal is and what you want your students to get out of the lesson. Without this intentionality, your lessons can run rampant in a way that doesn't make sense to the students and doesn't get your end goal. This goal is the finish line which you want your students to reach. The finish line to get through the end of the grade, but to not just get there, but to carry that knowledge and continue knowing that knowledge. These students are people that are going to take the skills that they have learned in these classes and take them out into the big wide world. But with these lessons, we have to reflect every time to let us think about what we have done right, what has gone well, what didn't work, and what to try again. This is all a trial and error. Every lesson is going to have its mistakes, but as long as we as teachers are trying to make it better, that is the purpose of it. Each of these lessons is in a way experimentation, as it allows us not only to think about what we've done, what worked, but to allow us to try again, try different methods, and try different strategies. Our students learn in different ways, so certain lessons may go over better with other students than others. This is why we have to know our students. If we don't know our students, we don't know how to teach the lesson, because each student is going to learn differently. Each student has different interests in things that they want to learn, and better ways that they learn. This is why we have to be a variety in the way that we teach. It allows us to better help each student. With this, though, we have to have our students trust us. This comes through knowing our students, and them knowing us. We have to be, in a way, transparent, but not too transparent with them, to allow them to get to know us, and us to get to know them, so we can continue to help them throughout their class time. The second point, in which I believe to be very important, or the third in this case, is relevance. Relevance is something that we often do in our classrooms, whether or not we think about it or not. It's getting our students to realize what the bigger picture is, how they can use this outside of our classroom. And this is a big thing as it helps our students grow. Our students are no longer going to be with us at some point. They're going to take flight and leave the nest, and they are going to want to take these skills that they not necessarily know that they've learned, but they have in our classrooms, and they're going to take them out in the world and use them to get other jobs and do other things in their lives. These things, though, can help them reach their highest potential, getting jobs they never thought they could have, reaching places and problems that they never thought they could fix. These problem-solving skills they could learn in the classroom are a big part of their future lives and how they will get through it. Along with this, we have to expand our students' knowledge and their comfort zone. This is in the ZPD, our zone of proximate development. Our students have a circle in which knowledge lives, and we want to expand that circle. Not pushing too much, but giving them enough of those skills to keep moving on, step by step, making it up this staircase, making their way again to the end goal, up to the top. And yes, there will always be more learning to have. There will always be more steps. But we need to get them to where they need to go and hopefully expand that knowledge to a point where they are able to live their lives outside of the classroom. With this, though, we have to be intentional about the way we interact with our students. So that way our MKOs are more knowledgeable others, or in this case the teachers, can teach our students. And this requires intentionality, connections with our students, and all of those other things. But outside of that, we have to think about the outside factors that these students go through. They have different cultures, different families, different lives outside of this. They have other things going on. We have to be aware of that. And this again goes into connections with our students and knowing what they are going through. Our students are kind of in a way like tornadoes. They suck up all the information that we take, and they might throw some of it out or might keep some of it. Our goal is to get them to all suck it up and hold it there and hold all that information in their brain and get them to realize that that information is very helpful to them. But in a way, our students are also like sponges. We have to be aware that they're going to soak up that information, and it might get squeezed out, and you might have to reteach some of that information, showing them how relevant it is to their lives and how it continues to go, and how it continues to help them in their life, because that's what they want to know. But I also want my students to know that they continue learning no matter where they are, no matter what class, even if it's not in school, outside of school, my students are always learning. And that is a big part of getting them to realize that their life is not stopping at the end of school. It continues growing, and they continue to grow. They continue to leave our schools and go out into the world and have other factors outside of that. They'll have culture, different places they're working in, different people they're working with. There are so many factors that we can teach them within the classroom. These external factors play a big role in what we do. And last but not least, teachers have to be enthusiastic about our teaching, not only with our students, but ourselves. We need to be enthusiastic about everything we do. This not only helps us, but helps our students know that we care, we want to be there. We want to teach what we are teaching. In this case, I am teaching art, and I love art, and I want my students to be able to see why I love art, and how they can do it too, and see how they can bring their own creative ideas into this world, and create those beautiful images of art. I know, and in fact, I've learned all of these things in a compassed way in educational psychology, and they have helped me to better understand teaching.